Hello and thank you for joining me. I'm Heather Forgan of stampwithnellie.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in the UK, and I'm continuing to play with these lovely Abundant Beauty Decorative Masks. So I think the last video I shared was how to line up the ones for the sunflowers. I don't think I did a video for this one, but I just simply used the mask and some blending brushes to add lots of colour onto this autumnal card, and I have done a video tutorial for this box with the houndstooth or dog's tooth pattern there. So the one I've got to use still is this snowflakes one. Had a little play about with it, and that's the card that I've come up with. So before I came up with the card, I actually just had a little bit of a play, and this is Blueberry Bushel card, and I used our white craft ink, this one, and a blending brush for there, and then I speckled it with diluted ink because when you buy the ink pad, it comes uninked and you get the little bottle of refill to ink it up, and then you can ink it up again later, but you can also play about with that white ink as well, which is what I did with that. I just simply put it on a white clear block, gave it a little spritz with some water and flicked it with a fine paintbrush. Then I thought, it's nice, but I wanted a bit more pop, so I have used the shimmery white embossing paste on there. Loved it that much that I decided to go with that, and I've combined it with our Sparkling Snowflakes Tag Topper Punch and this embossing folder that I've forgotten what it's called, Christmas Tidings. So it's a real cute embossing folder. Let me just pop that in and you might be able to see it a little bit, not so much, but it's got really lots of cute Christmassy things on it, but you don't really see it on my card. I mean, you can get a close-up look at it, but a lot of it is covered. So what I think I might do is use the Snowflake Sky on my next one, the one I'm going to make just now. And my Merry Christmas comes from Very Cute stamp set there. So let's just get on with it. Let's put those ones out to the side because I don't need them anymore. And I'll try and keep that over here so you can kind of see where we're going with this. So, embossing paste. Right, let me just get all my bits and bobs that I've kind of prepped, hopefully. So I've got a normal card base, just not burnished that very well. So it was kind of flicking up there, right? And then I have a white layer that I am going to emboss with my Snowflake Sky. And I'll just do that off camera. And I've got 3 pieces of card. These are all 4 centimeters wide. The length doesn't matter because we're going to be chopping those down. So that's just over, so that's 1 5/8 of an inch wide. Okay, so I've got 2 Blueberry Bushel and 1 basic white. Bring in my tag topper punch. And if you flip that around, you want to make sure that you've got that nice and central. I'm kind of using that edge bit there as a guide. And done one. Get rid of that bit. 2. And come on, 3. All right, so lots of little bits there, but I don't want to confuse them with those bits, which are for my sentiment. Okay, so what I'm going to do is cut these down to size before I put embossing paste all over them so that I don't have any waste. Okay, so trimmer. I want my first one, blue one, and I'm just lining up those points at just before the 10 centimeters, because my card layer that is being embossed is 10 by 14. Okay, so I kind of want that to be the full length. Then the white one, I am going to take that down to 8.5. We'll go there, and the last one will be 7 centimeters. Okay, so I've just got a nice even stagger between them there. Done with that. So I want to put my shimmering white embossing paste on these two pieces here. Let me bring in a little silicone mat, keep me nice and clean. And I've got a ridge on that, which I don't really want. That's better. Okay, mask. You decide which, I'm going to do one at a time, which way you want it to get either large or small snowflakes in there. I'm going to go like that. And I'm just going to add a little bit of washi. Hold that in place. Shimmery white embossing paste. I've had this for quite some time, and you use so little of it, but you have to make sure that you put your lid on it and it doesn't dry out. I don't need as much as that. Okay, so I'm putting it on my mask with this little tool, palette knife. Can't remember, you get 3 different shapes. Yeah, got them there in the pack. I like this one for some reason. And I'm just plastering it on and then essentially scraping most of it off. I just want to make sure I've got all the bits I want covered are covered. Okay, I'm going to lift that up, and there's a little bit there that could get a bit. Lift that up. That's nice. Now there is a little bit extra there. Just wipe that off. Isn't it lovely? Love, love, love. Okay, so I'll set that aside to dry, and then I'm gonna do the next one. But I think I'll probably do different snowflakes. Let's just do that one there. And you get the drift. Scrape as much off as you can. To use on the next one. Okay. Awesome. Love it. Now, what I did for my white one was that I just used the mask with ink and a blending brush, and then I added some Wink of Stella on it because I thought it needed a bit more sparkle. This time I'm mixing it up again. So let me just clean that up And I'll scrape as much of that off as I can as well. Pop that there. And I'm going to get myself a little block. And I'm going to put a little bit on there. Not much. Don't need much. It's only a little bit of card I'm doing. And then I have my Blueberry Bushel re-inker, and I'm going to put a drop, hopefully, on there. That's just one drop, and then mix that in. Oh, how dark is that? Love it. Okay, and then I can put my little bit back on there, and again choose my snowflakes. I think I want that biggie. I want that biggie, and I'm just gonna put that there. Now you want to make sure that you mix up enough, because you're never going to get the same shade again. But you don't want to have too much, because you're not going to be able to use it again. Okay, and about there. Scrapey, scrapey. There's plenty more on there. Let's just make sure I've got that covered. Anything else? Oh, that's just gonna be stunning, isn't it? And then what I want to do is peel that off. I'm going to leave that to dry, and I am now going to go and wash this all up so that it doesn't set like concrete. Okay, so I will pause this and I will be back in a moment. Right, so I have tidied up the embossing paste, and I've got some shiny left on there, but I didn't want to scrub too hard because I didn't want to mess about with those lovely masks, so it's not going to do any harm. Palette knife, nice and clean as well. So these ready to dry. Not bad. Okay. Right. So I also just did the other embossing. So that was embossing paste. This is embossing folder, and we've now got some lovely subtle little snowflakes on that for a little change on this one. And what I want to do is simply add glue to the back of these, and add a little bit down the bottom there as well. Okay, and I'm gonna put this one in place with a little margin at the end there, and just make sure that I've got it right to the very top, and press that down so it almost comes to the bottom there. I'm going to do the end one. If you find you've got a bit too much of the embossing paste at the end, little emery board do the trick. So again, a little bit of glue, tiny bit at the bottom there. I want it to hold in place, but I don't want it to squish out. And I want to put that one right at the top with similar margin along there. That looks close enough. Give that a bit of a press down. And then my middle one, just take that a little bit extra off the top. Just going to put in between with a similar gap there. Okay, again, just slide that up to the top. Got little bits of this coming off, but ordinarily I would leave it a little bit longer. Okay, give it a press from the other side. Easiest. Right. Next bit was sentiment. Stick with Blueberry Bushel on my Merry Christmas. And I've got a little piece of white card here. That is 7.5 centimetres by 1.5 centimetres. Ink that up. And stamp it down. Lovely. I'm going to back that on to a little piece of Blueberry Bushel card that is 2 centimetres by 8. As I said, that one was 7.5, yeah. So just a little, half a centimetre wider and longer than the size of your sentiment. I've got a little bit of fluff on there. Get that emery board back. There we are. Put my ink away, if I can, so I get my fingers in it. There we are. Right, so my card base, my card layer, plenty glue on the back because it's embossed. Line that up with a little margin around. Let's squidge it about until you're happy and give it a press. Once you've done that, it ain't moving again. And then I wanted to pop that up with dimensionals, and I do have them. I've got some bling as well. So three dimensionals will do the trick. Oh, I have sticky all over my fingers. And then I want to put that yeah. These are adhesive backed sparkle gems. And I'm just going to go with, put one down here actually. Got a couple of big ones. Little one right here. I'm going for extra sparkle on this one. I'll put that one there. Superb. Which one do you prefer? The blended ink with Wink of Stella or the super, super gorgeously sparkly, intensely blue shimmery paste? I like that one more. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. If you have, please give me a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, I'd love for you to click on that subscribe button. Click on the bell and you'll get a notification the next time I upload a tutorial. Until then, please do take care. Bye bye.